Hello there YouTube, it's Aaron again, obviously with another video. I've been getting a lot of questions about the accessories that I'm using with my air rifles. And I've been answering them here and there, so I decided, why don't I do a video and just tell you everything that I have here, how I try to save money in purchasing those, and how, looking into how I can even get you to get them even cheaper. So I'm going to talk about all the accessories for my gun and how much I paid for them, and I found some deals that are better than at the time that I purchased them, and I'm going to pass that along with you. I know that some of you guys are probably waiting on me to finish the night vision setup. I'm still waiting on a part for that. The part that I had for it didn't work out. I'm hoping to get another DVR because, as you know, that unit will shoot, but it will not record. I'm trying to get it to record. So I'm still working on that. So to the matter at hand, what accessories am I using? Why do I use them? And how much did I pay for them? And how much can you save? Let's put it that way. Let's start with scopes. Okay, when I started out, Ted was dominant. Ted Holdover was dominant. And at the time when I started, he was using UTG scopes. And they were the SWAT tacticals, as they called them. I have two such scopes in the UTGs. I have the 4-16 x 54 millimeter, 56 millimeter. I really love these scopes because the light gathering capacity of them. In dim light, these things will still see out there under very bad lighting conditions. You can still get that target, acquire that target. And if you compare it to what I'll be talking about later, a 44 millimeter that I'm going to be recommending, you'll see that the capacity for gathering light is just so much greater in that 56 than it is in the 44. I like the 4-16 because that's a good length for hunting. I can zoom in when I need to. I can zoom out, and it shoots really well. Okay. On this gun, when I got my impact, I went to a 6-24 56 millimeter because I wanted that extra zoom capacity, because with this gun here I was going to be shooting bench rests with it also and not just hunting. So I needed the range for shooting hunting, which I usually shoot about 8 power, zoom in when I have to, but usually I'm right around 8 power. But when I'm shooting field targets, or not field target, but when I'm shooting paper, I want to go all the way into 24 if the rules allow it. So that is what I like about this gun. The other thing I really love about this gun is that it's size focused. Okay, and the nice thing about being size focused is really quick without putting your hand up here. But the second thing is you can actually range targets. When I'm hunting, I don't necessarily bring a rangefinder with me. I use this gun for range finding. If you look on here, you will see a white strip, and that's going to tell me I got it from 60 all the way down to 15. So I can actually zoom that in, clear it up, and then look down and say that thing is approximately 25 yards away. 25 yards away is a direct hold, is no holdover, directly on target. So that's another thing that I really love about the side focus guns. Is they do allow that. And you can buy, of course, when I got it, it had a very small side focus like this. You can buy the big ring for it here online. I think I paid $7.99 for it. Okay, so in terms of scopes, that is what those are the ones I like. Now they run between $180 for the 4-16 to about $240 for the 6-24 56 millimeter. So that gets to be a little bit pricey. So what I've done is I was talking to my buddy Ken again, and when I shot that P15, he had a scope on there. I was really fell in love with the scope. I said, "What scope is this that you have?" And he told me that it was the BSA, this is an 8-32 power. So 32 is a lot. So I bought this scope because I'm going to be using it for field target. I think what I'm going to do is, and I bought with it, and I use also UTG rings. All of my rings are UTG and my scopes are UTG, except for in this case. But I bought the UTG scope rings for this. And the nice thing about these is that you can get an adapter for them. So if you're shooting a 1 inch, you can get an adapter for the inside of them so they'll fit a 1-inch. So they'll be able to fit the 33 millimeter and the 1-inch barrel. So that is really, really good. Another thing, the reason I recommend this scope is because it has a side focus wheel on it. Now on this one here, you have to squeeze it a little bit to turn it. I think it'll probably get broken in a little bit over time, but you really hold it tight. If you get a wheel for it, it'll be a lot easier. That wheel, you can grab it a lot better. But this says that it will focus anywhere from 10 yards all the way out to infinity. So this would be a very, very good scope. The only downside I would say to this scope is that the light gathering capacity for a 44, especially when you zoom in and you're zooming in at 32, the light's a little dark. You're probably gonna lose your target in this thing. But other than that, this scope costs $79, and it's really, really a great scope. But let me say this to you: when you go online to try to find it, don't look under BSA, because you look under BSA, it's gonna run you about $129 and up. But if you can find it, and what I find is it's coming in a lot of generic things when I found it online. But one thing you can do is this: no matter what the name is, when the scope is in the profile, you will not see the box. This is what the box looks like. Okay, you're not going to see this box in the profile. Okay, all you're going to know is if you get in this scope when it's called that is that it's going to be 8 to 24, 44. But all of them have this yellow ring around it. So when you see the picture of the scope there and it says $79, $69 or whatever, and it's got this yellow ring around it, it's the real BSA. And you're going to get it. I got this out of China for $79. Excellent scope. I've been looking through it. I haven't mounted it yet. I've been looking through it. But this doggone scope is really, really nice for $79, especially for side focus. To me, that's just amazing. And it's crisp. That's why I asked Ken when I was shooting that P15, I believe. I said, man, Ken, where did you get that scope? So a very, very good buy for you. And I think you can get these. I think I got these rings here for about $13.99 for the UTG rings, and they're cheaper rings out there. But I like to go with the UTGs. So those are my recommendations for scopes. Let's talk about bipods. Now with bipods, I have 3 different kinds. Okay, I have the spring-loaded bipod. This was a predominant bipod when I first started to shoot, and it's really, really nice. What I like about this bipod, when it locks on the spring, it locks. There is no, this thing is locked in place. Okay, what I find with the next one I'm going to talk about, which is the Atlas type bipods, I'll call it, is that there's a little wiggle room in the legs. But other than that, let me just say that for the money, you're not going to beat these. They're just like the Atlases, but the tolerances is not nearly as good. On the Atlas, you're going to get tolerance where you're not going to get a lot of shake, or probably any shake. I've never seen Atlases in person, but I'm told that they're really, really manufactured to tighter tolerances. These are. But if you look at it from the standpoint of what we pay, I think $280 for Atlas bipods, thereabout. This one here, I think I paid $39 for, $49, $69 when I first got it. The price has really come down. And I'm going to talk about a recommendation in a minute. Let me go to this third one. This third one I bought because it works pretty much the same way Atlas does. The only thing is it's not extendable. I didn't know that when I bought it, else I wouldn't have bought it. And I paid $28 for this thing. The good thing about it is it does fit on a Picatinny, and you pull the legs out, and the legs are adjustable, so you can move them forward and backward just as you can the Picatinny. They do have that flexibility for doing that. The downside to these is they don't extend. Now, I paid $28, and this really to me is wasted. I don't think I'll ever use this thing. Now let me talk to you about the recommendation. I just ordered this one. These other ones, I wanted to get another one because I had lost some rubbers off these hunting. And I couldn't find the rubbers, and I didn't want to try to make anything, so I just ordered another one. I got this thing for $25 on eBay. And the tolerances on this is really tight compared to these old ones. And the old ones will actually say, the original ones I got actually say it on here, Atlas Bipod patent. And I know it's not an Atlas bipod, so I don't know why it's stamped on it, but it is. On this new one I have, it doesn't have that. And this particular bipod, when you look it up, don't look under Bipod. If it'll come up, you put it under Bipod. But this specific one is called, believe it or not, U.S. stock, like U.S. in stock, U.S. stock adjustable hunting tactical bipod. And you'll know you found it because it'll be $25.99. And this thing here has really, really tight tolerances. It's not moving nearly as much as the rest of them are. So this is my recommendation for you for your bipod. Let's talk a little bit about illumination there for night vision. I've been asked a lot of questions. What are you using to illuminate? What are you using to illuminate? And let me talk about this for a second because you can make some mistakes out there. I've made some mistakes out there. The original one I got, I went on and I found that most of the guys who were in Great Britain were shooting the Evolver, I think it's a T72. This is a big one. This is a big light. And it's quite heavy. It's a lot to it. But this thing here, on high price night vision, 300 yards, easy. This light can shine out too. On the ones we're using, I'm thinking you probably can get out to about 100 with it, because the little lenses that we have in these little cheap cameras that I've been recommending, it's not for long range shooting, it's for shorter range shooting. So this one costs between $69 and $79. I went online to get a smaller one because I want something a little bit smaller. And this is where I want to have you not make the mistake I made. Okay, both of these lights were called, when I got them, T50s. Okay, but the first one I ordered was this little thing, holds one battery. It's not bad if you're shooting 10-15 yards. You don't want that one because these are basically almost the same price. You want to get the one that's a T50 that says that it holds 2 LiPo batteries, 3.7, not one. This one holds 1, and it didn't say, but in the thing it looked longer than this, and it wasn't when I got it. Okay, this was 20 bucks, and this T50 throws a lot of light out. Doesn't throw out the light this one does, but for shorter ranges, I say out to 50 yards, this thing here would do it for you. When you get ready to order this, as far as recommendations are gonna go, this is going to be online, and you're gonna know it by this. It's gonna cost 20 bucks, and it's gonna have 2 batteries. Because when I looked on there, there's just so many of them. I think one person might manufacture this thing, and everybody else is ordering it and giving it the name they want to give it. So make sure it's a T50, and that it holds at least 2 LiPo 3.7 batteries, and then you got the right one. The next thing, you want a quick release for this thing to mount it on your gun. Okay, now there's 2 ways you can go. You can get scope rings that have a Picatinny piece on top of it. So on top of your scope here, and this one does not have it, but you would actually have a piece right on top of the scope rings to attach your light to. Okay, or you can get a aftermarket piece. This is called a barrel mount, and what it is, it goes around the barrel of your scope, and it allows you to then attach the light to this. I don't know if a lot of people pay attention to the fact that once your scope is mounted, you got to mount your lights on top of it, and so you're going to either need to buy the scope mount with the Picatinny on top, or buy the adapter for the barrel. I think this was $7.99 on eBay. And then that way you'll be able to mount your light as you have. Here I just have a standard light. What I've been doing lately, I've not been recording. There's a few pests around here, and I can click this light on, click this light off, and it's not very bright because I got this great scope that only needs a little bit of light in order to find this target in the evening. So whether you go with a regular white light or whether you go with this, you're still going to be able to mount it. You're going to have to mount it one of 2 ways on your gun. So my recommendation would be, again, 20 bucks. Make sure that you go after this one. The Evolver has come down. I've seen them as cheap as $59, and some off-market ones for around $40, $45. So all this can be found on eBay. Everything I have can be found on eBay. The last thing I want to talk about is something that I'm very, very excited about. I got my barrel. Now this is not the barrel that I got. This is the 25 caliber barrel, because I've already put in it the 17 barrel. Now I want to admit something. When I stopped shooting springers, I thought I'd never shoot a 177 again. Not enough power, downrange to do anything, so abandoned that altogether. This thing here, if you own an impact, you owe it to yourself to go out and get this barrel one day. The 177 barrel for shooting is so much fun. No noise at all, either here or on target. There's no pass through hardly at all. If you hit something, the pellet's going to stay or barely come out the back. Whether you're shooting rats or whatever, it's going to basically stay in there. You turn this thing down to the lowest setting there, and whether you want to slide it in or slide it out. And I must admit, even for a 177, it gets a little noisy when you push that in. So this thing does work. When you slide it out, it gets really, really quiet. But the accuracy of it, the flat shooting of it, you know, I'm shooting 25 yards on the X, and I'm also shooting 40 yards on the X. With the 25, I'm up to a half a mil dot to a whole mil dot when I start getting out to 40 and 50 yards. So 177s are back. I think that's going to be my primary pesting caliber from now on, and I'm just excited about that. So I hope I answered all the questions that you have about the things that I use and where I bought them and how much they cost and how much you can get them for. I want to say one last thing before I go. In defense of my FX impact here, and I may be wrong on this, so I want you guys to look into it for me also. But let me just say this, and this is just an observation that may be totally wrong and probably is. All of a sudden, that the crown has come out, this gun isn't as accurate as it used to be. On some of those promotion videos, I won't get into any names or anything like that, but in some of those promotion videos, all of a sudden this gun has lost its accuracy. A gun that used to be shooting a half an inch at 100 yards can no longer do that. A gun that was shooting inside a half an inch at 50 yards, all of a sudden is missing around a little bit when put up against the crown. All of a sudden it loses its accuracy when it puts up against the crown. This gun came in first in 2016 at the bench rest AOA, and it came in second last year to the crown. And I don't know, I guess I'm one of those conspiracy people, but I won't get into that. Let's just say this, that a gun that is shooting lights out in 2016 should be shooting lights out in 2017. If all of a sudden it's lost its accuracy to this other gun, then it just makes you wonder. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything other than all of a sudden it does make me wonder. So, and another thing too, for those of you, I know I'm getting comments from people in Great Britain and other countries and that sort of thing. Let me know. I know that there are other shooting competitions around the world. Can you please check out your competitions and tell me how well this gun is done against other guns in your country, and how well it's done against the crown if it in competitions this summer. I just want to do some independent research on this, and the only way I can do it is to try to get some feedback from you guys. So if you can, look into that for me, and just let me know how well does this gun fare in competitions other than the AOA. I just want to know. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you for viewing.